Big family, how's every single one of you? Welcome to the official review of NXT Deadline. A different concept, something new that we haven't seen before. Shawn Michaels is trying to give a different style of matches. We're going to talk about everything. Paul and I are back. You know, I'm sorry we've been focusing a little bit on soccer. You know, Paul, a little bit of sickness going around, you know, busyness. We have our lives also, but we will never stop doing this. So, Paul, you know, NXT Deadline, we haven't seen NXT, you know, in a regular basis like we used to. We don't cover it because it sucks. But, like, you know, there's been a lot of good things coming up. You know, one of our girls is actually coming back, so we're really excited about it. We're going to talk about a little bit of, like, William Regal also coming back. You know, guys like Trent Seven also, Paul, like, debuted on Rampage. This is not a Rampage, you know, show, but, like, rather NXT UK. You know, a lot of our guys are showing up. So, NXT Deadline, though, focusing back on this different concept, and I think that it was a pretty enjoyable pay-per-view.
Yeah, you know, for the most part, what do we have here? About 5 matches or
Yes.
so? I mean, you know, that's good. Now, 2 of the matches were guaranteed 25 minutes, so you got to say 50 minutes. But with entrances, everything probably an hour just dedicated to 2 matches itself. But, I mean, this pay-per-view I thought was good. Shawn Michaels, you know, whether he was under the directive of Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard or whatever, but he kind of turned that version of NXT, which nobody really liked, into this, which it's getting a little more tolerable. There's still a lot of characters, a lot of gimmicks, a lot of people that are pretty unbearable, and it's not just heat like, oh, I want to see them get beat up. It's no, you're not very good, you're annoying for all the wrong reasons, and we want you off the TV. Grayson Waller. But I mean, this is one thing where it was a pretty good show. I mean, Braun Breaker's still a stud, he's still a star. I wish, you know, we'll talk about when we get there, but Apollo Crews, man, I wouldn't have been upset if, you know, he pulled off the upset. Apollo Crews is such a great wrestler, and, you know, hopefully he sticks around in NXT and does something, or, you know, they keep using him. But I mean, overall, I thought this was a pretty good showing for NXT, the last WWE pay-per-view of the year. So good stuff.
Absolutely, Paul. And, you know, just family, look at all the new social media we have right there, because a lot of people have been asking, put the freaking social media. We can see them, you know. Okay, hopefully this way you can, you know, they're right there for all of you. Robrick on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also like all Twitter. So, Paul, you know, this pay-per-view started, like you said, 25 minutes with the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. A different concept, and you said 25 minutes, like every 5 minutes another woman will come out, and then the woman that scores as many pins, like, it will be the #1 contender for Mandy Rose. So that was exciting, that was really different, and also very similar though to like what they did like years ago, and that was like the I think the Championship Scramble it was called. That was like when Jericho became championship. But did you like this? A different concept for you, you know, new something
Yeah, it
that
definitely
you like
reminded me
like about this match?
Of what was it called in TNA? King of the
Mountain. King of the Mountain.
And it reminded me definitely like that, which I'm sure if you ask Shawn Michaels, hey, did you kind of get this from TNA? He's not gonna lie, or at least he might lie on camera. But if you ask him backstage, he'll tell you, yeah, that's where he got it from. Which, hey, I mean, it was a pretty interesting concept, but I liked it here. I mean, to me, the one thing when you watch this match, Zoe Starks is so good.
Yes.
I mean, she's just the one thing I know. I mean, everything she does, whether it's the way that she sells facially, whether she's pissed off or the intensity, everything. Roxanne Perez is so good too. That like little underdog baby face who you want to cheer, you want to see win.
And of course, Booker has to sell it, right, Paul? Because,
yeah,
you know,
and Booker, but Cora Jade as a heel, good. That Kiana James, first time really seeing her. Maybe in a singles match, I wouldn't like her as much, but she was all right in here. And Indy Hartwell was a nice surprise, because when I saw the graphic before, it was some other chick who looks like a secretary from a porno. I don't know who the hell she is, but Indy Hartwell is a lot better than her, so good job on that. But I mean, yeah, this match was good. Roxanne and Zoe Stark start the thing.
They started the match.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. I like the every 5 minutes somebody comes out, but you almost think like whoever's in last place, they kind of get screwed. Yeah. What if somebody goes on a tear and gets like 5 pins before you come out? They'd like,
again, that kind of happened, not like that, but in the men's match. But you know, like you said, like they probably have to like fix little things here and there. Is the first time that they do this. So like you said, like also Zoe Starks got the first pin. That was really cool. Cora got another pin, and you know, like you said, both heels now. Zoe is actually heelless fighting with Nikita Alliance. So we'll see. I mean, It was cool. Like I like Roseanne. The only thing that like I don't like is the finisher. Just because the code red, whatever. Like she doesn't do it that powerful, so it looks like, oh yeah, I roll her up, it's good. But
Oh yeah, she
what
calls it like the pop rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the candy, like the pop rocks, but Roxanne Perez. But yeah, I mean, but she was the one you got to think. Zoe Stark's already won against Mandy Rose. Heel versus heel. Cora Jade already had a chance. Heel versus heel. Indy Hartwell, she kind of just getting back in the mix with NXT. They're saying, like I said, we don't really watch it, so I can't say for certain notice that. But they, from what they say, commentary, she's just getting back in the mix. So maybe not yet. I mean, now who's been there? Who's been a baby face in the trenches for a while? That again, the crowd really wants to see. That's Roxanne Perez. She sneaks out, gets the, like you said, gets the pin there the last second. She's kind of running around and not like really running around or anything, but like they say, trying to survive. And the last couple seconds here, she holds out. I mean, her and Zoe Starks, I would love to see the two of them just have a feud. Something, but I mean, if you got to think, Mandy Rose, they even said it too. Like we said, if we didn't make it clear, Roxanne Perez won, the challenge here. And the one thing is, if she beats Mandy Rose, I wouldn't even be upset because who else are you going to?
I think that like she's going to be the one, unless then like what we're going to talk about later, the debut of Lyra, Valkyrie or like Valkyria. They changed the name. I don't know why, but like that might be the one. But like Roxanne appears to be the one that it will be. The one they thrown in Mandy Rose, because like I said, everybody else, we thought it was going to be Alba Fyre. That didn't happen. So it has to be Roxanne. Like we said, there's the future. The girl screams like new generation. She's good. She's popular. Booker T freaking loves the girl. Pretty much he can go there and do the, the spinny Rooney with her. So like, I feel that like is the right woman to do it. So good match. Every girl at least got a pin, got a point or whatever. And again, they're trying to get new girls.
Yeah, they all had a pin except Kiana James, which, I mean, and it's funny, in both of these matches, somebody went scoreless, which was a little bit weird, especially in the men's match, who went probably the best competitor out of all of them, didn't get any pins in the men's match, but we'll save that for
a little bit,
the main event, yeah.
But like you said, number one contender, Roxanne Perez, that was a good decision. Don't forget we're going to be covering the next pay-per-view that is going to be on February for NXT. It's going to be Vengeance. It's going to be in Charlotte, another show that is going to be, broadcasted as a pay-per-view or it's like a live premium show. We got a backstage thing because the tag team champions are going to be defending against, one of the girls of Diamond Mine, all of that, and, Ivy Nile. But, this is just like to fill the show, just like the backstage segments. Let's go to this match because we've seen this match before. Paul and I've seen this so many times because we did cover NXT UK. We did all of those shows. We knew these girls from like with the real names, Kaylee Ray, not Alba Fyre, Kaylee Day, and I mean Isla Dawn. At least they kept Isla Dawn. And kind of like the same reasons why they have the rivalry. Remember, Paul, the character was like the witch. I have superpowers. I'm a little unhinged. Here, very similar, but a little toned down. And I'm glad that like Isla Dawn got the win because that way the feud continues.
Yeah, and Isla Dawn, she got the win by, you could say, nefarious means, cheating, supernatural powers. I mean, Kaylee Ray hit her finish, goes for the cover, and the ref's in the corner puking up, black gunk out of his mouth. So, he's not making the pinfall, the count. And she's like, what the hell? And eventually, Isla Dawn, she is able to take advantage of that. You see another ref comes out and everything. But, I mean, this is a good match.
The Taker thing, like the eyes were like,
and I think she did that in NXT UK with the eyes as well. I think she did that before. So, I mean, and she's good. She has good size. She's tall. She's maybe 5'10", 5'11". She's not real short. Like, again, a Roxanne Perez is maybe like, what, 5'3", 5'2", very short. So, she has some good size. I mean, Alba Fyre, a veteran. You heard Shawn Michaels on a press conference, and, they said, what names do you think are kind of ready to maybe get called up to the main roster? And I would say about over 60% of the names he said were NXT UK talents.
Oh, yeah. Those guys, like
Alba Fyre,
they deserve those opportunities. Absolutely.
He said all those guys are ready. And
absolutely.
You even heard it in this match. Booker T said it. He's like, man, everybody who comes here in NXT is hungry and they want it. But he said, man, those competitors from across the pond, they just wanted a little more.
It's because like they feel a little, I don't want to say cheated, but like they cancel our show, they cancel our world, they cancel like our window that we had to like expose ourselves, all the talent. They had a lot of things going on, remember, before everything like they canceled. So like great stuff, and I'm happy that Isla Dawn is going to be a crucial factor here because again, she's not a heel or not a babyface. because of the unhingement or like how crazy she is, she can go either way.
Now, with this being that, I don't think anybody from the first match, I think all those competitors are safe here in NXT, but this is the last show of the year. So maybe some big moves, some big shaking, because they asked Shawn Michaels about people getting called up, this and that. Do you think maybe some of the losers of some of these matches are maybe getting called? Do you think this is the last we see of Alba, Fyre, Kaylee Ray in NXT, or do you think she's going to stick around?
I mean, if they move her up, it's time. Because she remembered that in the past as Kaylee Ray, she came out, she was actually in the War Games match. So it is time for her to just go up. For me, because
agree.
like she couldn't dethrone Mandy Rose. That was the only thing. What else do you have to do there? Feud with Isla? Don't know. It was just like, that's it for me. Hey, I need to be main roster and then kind of refreshing up also like Raw and SmackDown. So I think that's what it has to be. And Isla Dawn, since she is just arrived, then she has to kind of fill the spot of like Alba, Fyre, Kaylee Ray.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. So, Paul, let's go to the next one. This one pissed me off a lot. This one is just the kind of matches that I hate because, again, NXT talent, NXT UK talent that is supposed to be just the future here. Let them get a big win out of the expense of the New Day. They didn't do that on Pretty Deadly, and it pisses me off because, once again, they just do it to give the New Day another crown, another title, another record. I don't know what's the point of it. Big E is not there anymore. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to come back. We don't wish him anything bad. But again, what was the point of this? You lose to the Usos a few weeks ago. All of a sudden, oh yeah, we're going to reward you for losing with a championship match. And on top of that, you're going to beat a team that is actually good and is carrying the brand really well. And Pretty Deadly. I don't know.
I don't know who the New Day, who they have pictures of. Maybe they have pictures of Triple H with somebody, or Shawn Michaels with somebody that they can hold this above their heads. Hey, but they're worse than DX.
Yeah.
DX comes in, we're gonna beat up the hot young tag team and win the belts, or we're gonna, and the New Day's just as bad. So I don't want to talk about this match. Not that it upset me with it. Not like I have Pretty Deadly posters and they're my favorite team. No, it's not that. But it's really, these guys are how old? They've been here for more than one cup of coffee. Okay, they've been here forever. We don't need to see them as champs.
Exactly.
They've never held the NXT tag titles. I don't give a shit. Do you think I care?
No.
They had the second longest tag reign in WWE history. Multiple time tag team champions. They make more money than anybody else will make in their lifetime with the merch they sold. Past tense, because they're not selling merch now because nobody gives a flying shit about the New Day.
Thank you.
And I think that's evident because a lot of people feel the same. It's the same promo. It's the same garbage, blah, blah, blah.
For more than 5-6 years already.
It's the same thing.
Done.
They come here, they win the belts. The only good thing about this is if it means the New Day are stuck on Tuesday where nobody will watch them, awesome.
Exactly.
Because I don't know, maybe they thought this was...
all hands down for it. Yep.
Maybe they thought this was something that maybe in their WWE's eyes, maybe they do think the New Day are hot and they think they do get viewers and eyes. And they think maybe this will bring more viewers to NXT. And it might for a week or two, but it won't be a consistent thing, I don't think. It's like the same thing when you brought AJ Styles there and Charlotte Flair. Maybe a pop of a rating for 1 week, but that's about it. Now, the only thing I'm going to say about this match, and we can move on, is, obviously Pretty Deadly are great. And the New Day, bell to bell, they're not bad. You can't be like, oh, the New Day suck in the ring, this and that. No,
it's
they're
just
good.
The gimmick is so stale, though.
It's just, yeah. And hopefully we get to see Pretty Deadly on the main roster. Them versus the Usos would be great. And you got to think of who are some other tag teams. Well, I can't really think any because there is no tag teams on the main roster.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
At least Pretty Deadly will be another one added to the list.
Exactly. And that they can be a leading tag team. For like going against, like you said, the Usos, maybe like go against even like the Alpha Academy. Little things like that. That like at least they can rebuild a tag team division that is in both shows is very stale. The Viking Raiders. They're just coming back.
Oh yeah, that's the Brawling Brutes. Yeah, once we start to think, we can figure out the 4 tag teams in
exactly.
WWE.
So there's not a lot, and the tag teams that are there, they're not popular, and they're not doing anything for the show. They're not increasing ratings. They're not making the show better. So there you go. So like you said, I absolutely love the idea of the New Day being on Tuesday. I don't want to see them again. It's nothing against them. It's just like 6-7 years of the same stale stuff. I don't give a damn. There you go. Tag team champions on Jaden Carter going against a Toxic Attraction. They just had a brawl, and there's going to be a match for like next Tuesday. Tell me a little bit about this because we're going to talk about the Survivor on the men's side. And, all the good, great competitors, like you said, Jake D. McDonough, or, he doesn't get any pins. So I don't know why they did that. When he's been the hottest guy, he just go against Bron Breakker. He had a match with Dragunov also in the Triple Threat for Halloween Havoc. Outside of that, the A-Kid or Acom or Acom, whatever his name is called, like that was cool.
Axiom,
or yeah, like he did a really good job. And I mean, Grayson Waller winning it, I feel that like they needed a heel to win it, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean I was fine with the competitors and everything, and the start of the match was good. Grayson Waller comes in, boom, and the double clothesline, whatever the hell he hits, or double, I don't even know what it was. Boom, he pins both guys, and then you think, oh god, here we go. And people think, oh, why do you think he's gonna win already? They still have much time left in the match because I knew they were gonna book it exactly how they booked it.
Even Carmelo got a one. They love.
He was gonna be a chicken shit. He was going to hold on to those 2 pins the whole time. And then right at the end, he was going to steal a 3rd pin and nobody was going to be able to catch him. And that's what happened.
Yep.
And I like the women's match more than this one for the sole reason the women were concerned on for the most part. I mean, there were some big dives, where Zoe Starks climbed up on the top, dove, took everybody out, this and that. There was stuff like that. But for the most part, the women were concerned. I want you in the ring. I want to score a pin. This match was, let's throw each other into the holding cell. Let's beat each other up. Let's be bullshit. It wasn't focused on getting pins. It was all just these personal grudges and all this
kind of
stuff.
Like rivalries, yes, because Axiom goes against JD McDonough a lot.
For some reason, I didn't like that. I thought the women's match, it was more focused, and it was more like, to the objective of the match itself. Score the most number of pins. And, I mean, just the ending of it. Just Grayson Waller running around this. When he called Booker T a bitch or something like that, I thought Booker T was gonna get up and slap him. And
that was a little
and like
that was a little
scissor kick or something. I mean, Grayson Waller, to me, Shawn Michaels put him over in the press conference. Oh, he's so great. A lot of people don't. Blah blah blah. You're right. A lot of people don't get it, and they never will because he's annoying. He's not that good in the ring. If you think he can just get over by being like this MJF where, oh, I'm just going to insult you, I'm hot, I'm better than you, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not going to work because he's the Dollar General knockoff version and MJF is the premium fucking high dollar version. So, no, this wasn't good. We'll see this loser, this fucking sewer drinker. We see him later on in the main event. But, no, I mean, I didn't care for this. If you ask me who would have... I mean, he was the only one, though. That was another reason, too, why I figured that he's probably going to win it, and I don't like that. It's because we saw McDonough. We saw Gacy.
We saw, like,
I don't think
Gacy.
we saw Axiom versus Bron Breakker, but a babyface that don't really talk and this and that. I mean, yeah, I guess he does talk, but I mean, not too much, at least not before his A-Kid, with the mask and everything. Which, hey, I think he is more over as Axiom than A-Kid. I think the mask and everything, it helps him get more over. But no, I mean, I didn't care for this as much as the women's. I didn't absolutely hate it. Some good action, some good stuff in here, but no, not too much for me.
But,
I thought the women's
you're saying
was better.
You're saying the right, the correct thing in the fact that like there's nobody else to go against Breakker, because the fact that they have to bring Apollo Crews to feud with Breakker it says it all.
Yes.
There's nobody ready or nobody that can pull out of. And I'm gonna tell you, like, since you're mentioning that, well, before we go into the main event, Lyra Valkyria. I'm just like really excited to see finally this girl that has been out for almost a year. Remember last time we saw it was on NXT UK, a show that we cover against Jeannie. So I'm just excited. If she's the one instead of Roxanne Perez going against Mandy Rose and getting the title, I'll be so excited because she deserved a title run. A title reign, going for the NXT UK Championship. That didn't happen. We haven't heard from Meiko Satomura either. Maybe she's still on vacation or maybe they tried to renew her contract. But at least her coming back is really cool. And now see the main event. I don't know, Paul, because again, the match was like not that great in my eyes. It was quicker than what I thought it was going to be. Apollo had a lot of resistance to Breakker. One spear and done. And again, they bring him to lose. So, hey, we don't really have anything to do for you on the main roster.
I mean, you could almost say the build and the promo and everything else to the match was
better.
Maybe even a little more enjoyable.
Yes.
You know, Apollo Crews saying, I left NXT too early. I left too much on the table. You know, it shows him with that little feud he had with Finn Balor. One match, I believe, for the title. That was it. You know, Vince McMahon saw him and, you know, called him up right away and then used him like shit. I mean, IC champ at some point when he had the Nigerian gimmick, which wasn't over at all.
Commander
but at least he held gold. So, I mean, that's something. But, you know, he wants gold now as himself here, not as some fake person, whatever. But, I mean, the match itself, I thought was all right. Apollo Crews is great, man. I don't know if he's stronger than Bron Breakker. I don't know if he's more intense, but I think, you know, the speed and everything, man, they match up great, these two guys. But like you said, one spear and done. I mean, I didn't want him to kick out of the spear because, I mean, who is... I like Apollo Crews, but you know what I mean? He ain't no Shawn Michaels. He's not The Undertaker. He's not Stone Cold. He's not Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? He's not going to...
But not even the regular finisher, I want to say, you know?
But I mean, I wish it was something where he would have maybe hit one big move and you thought that was it and Apollo kicked out to really sell it. You know, oh man, is Apollo going to make this comeback? But no, I mean, it was, if anything, it was Braun was kicking out everything Apollo did. Then they get in each other's face. Oh, you want to go? You want to go? They start throwing blows, this and that. You know, ducks the clothesline, hits the rope, spear, 1, 2, 3. Like you said, it came out of nowhere, kind of. And okay. I mean, hey, I appreciate it being a short pay-per-view, believe me, because, you know, we had 2 of them today. So appreciated it being short. And, you know, after the match, he's celebrating whatever, you know,
and of
crazy
course,
shithead comes out. You know, he comes out and beats him up and holds up the belt and everything. And it's the same thing we see. How many people have beat up Bron Breakker from behind, held up the belt, and ended up losing like idiots anyway? Joe Gacy. I don't know if Von Wagner held up the belt, but, you know, similar thing.
Did
you know,
the same thing.
All these guys. And
at least Dragunov and McDonough, we're not going to say that because we know how legit they are.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing is, you know, are they going to do the craziness and put the belt on Grayson Waller?
I hope they don't.
And then the only thing I would say, if you do that, then that means Bron Breakker's got to be bound for Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah,
or,
you know, well,
SmackDown.
like, you know, the Royal Rumble is approaching. Maybe like, you know, WrestleMania after that, like you said.
Oh,
like
I would say he's a lock.
You
usually get 1 or 2 people. I would say maybe Mandy Rose, but definitely Bron Breakker. I could see a Roxanne Perez, and maybe like a Ilya Dragunov or somebody. You know, I could see. You know, maybe 4 people from NXT, 2 men, 2 women, you know, getting put in a Royal Rumble. But, I mean, yeah, that was deadline. I would say a pretty good showing from NXT considering how they were, you know, maybe 6 months ago under the Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard regime. I mean, that would have been a complete stinker of a pay-per-view. This was at least pretty decent, so I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. So, like, you know, and especially like you said, when it's 5 matches, when it's just you know, not a lot of, like, you know, matches to focus on, is a lot more watchable and enjoyable. Thank you so very much for being with us, family. You know, we also have the Ring of Honor, also Final Battle video, so please, you know, support both of them. We talk about every single match, you know, like you said, Jean-Paul just mentioned, we have a double feature. So, Paul, right there, we have the social media. Where can people find us?
And it's Road Break on Facebook, the OG Road Break on Twitter, Original Road Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Road Break.
You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...